Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum, and in this video folks I'm going to be showing you how to get to this location, and this is on the Aberration map. So in this video I'm going to be covering some hidden base locations. It's going to be a total of 5 hidden base locations. Now these are base locations that I have not seen anybody show on YouTube, and this is predominantly for PvP players. I guess PvE players can also do this, and this location will also be covered. And yes, you can build down there, and it is very easy to defend. Obviously this will be later in the video, so if you guys enjoy this video, please don't forget to support me by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and why not check out some of my other videos, who knows, you might just enjoy them. So as you can see, that is the entrance. Very easy to defend. You can build here, there, and just about everywhere, and there is no radiation or fire to worry about. Alright everybody, so here it is, location number 5. Now, as you can see, you can build a decent base. It's going to be going upwards, and you're going to do that by placing these metal cliff platforms. It is very well concealed. There are a couple of entrances that you will need to cover. However, most of your base will be concealed. However, bear in mind that there will be several openings that you might need to cover. Also, this base is also built in, or actually next to, a radiation area, and it is going to be quite hard to get to. As you can see, you are surrounded by indestructible structures of the map, so you are building in the map as such. And I'm going to place some foundations down to show you that you can build. You could probably connect these foundations with a ceiling between them and actually turn it into a full-on base. You can also get the metal cliff platforms to join together if you spend enough time fiddling with them. I didn't in this particular case. I just wanted to show you this location. So as you can see, I can't really jump up there, but you can use ramps if you don't snap them into the right place, you know, to get from one platform to the other. So obviously this is a fairly decent size location. You can stash rock drakes in here as well, and you will be out of sight in terms of using light because they won't penetrate the structure that you will be building in, or at least that is what I'm hoping. This is what it looks like. As you can see, decent size base can be built in here. Let's go further down. You can also build further down. There we go. That's the entrance, or one of the entrances you'll need to cover, but you can easily protect that with turrets. Placing the platforms down and around this area can be a bit fiddly, but it can be done, and you can build on top of the platforms. So I'm going to try and place a couple of platforms here. Obviously it's a bit fiddly, as you can see, but it is possible to be done. Come on, there we go. Let's just leave it like that for now. Obviously this is just for the purpose of showcasing the location, and as you can see, you will be able to build a fairly large size base. And let's see what it looks like from outside and where actually the location is. So as you can see, it's one of these pillar thingies that goes from the red biome all the way to the ceiling. There are cracks that you can build in it, and this particular one is not in the radiation zone. So that means most people won't think of looking here, and obviously it is well off the ground as well, so it's quite tall, it's quite close to the ceiling, as many people will be climbing these to get back up. As you can see, it's well off the ground. People don't really have a reason to be around here. You can even build taller up if you want. You can protect this with turrets. That is the only entrance in. You can see some of the platforms, so you may want to protect these from the outside. Obviously, it does take a bit of work around here. You can do something really nice. You can be a bit more tricky if you want. And this is a nice location for a base or maybe an outpost. It does get you quite close to the radiation area without actually being inside the radiation zone. Here are the coordinates, and I'll show you the map in a bit. Alright, so I'm just going to make my way out of here and show you or prove to you that this is actually a safe area in terms of radiation. So I'm going to use my Drake and glide towards a area that's got radiation to show you guys that I'm not using any god mode or anything, and that is quite a nice decent location. So I'm going to go towards that pillar over there. There we go. We've got some radiation going on. Obviously I have infinite stats so I don't die, but as you can see, a very safe place. Base location number 4. So over here we can build again using the metal cliff platforms, and as you can see, it is also inside one of those metal structures. However, there is a different catch. I will show you that in a little bit. And as you've seen, you can build a pretty decent sized base. You can get rock drakes in here. Once you place down the first platform, from there on it does get a bit fiddly, but you can get the platforms to overlap so that you can have one single base. There are a few cracks that you will need to defend in the structure where people could come in. Some of them are just big enough for only people to come in and they won't let drakes in. Some of them are a bit bigger, but if you place down your turrets wisely, it is going to be extremely hard to raid because they're not going to be able to get in. That's just it. That's the simple answer to it. So as you can see over here, it is a bit fiddly, but once you get it done, you can build a very decent sized base. I'm going to try and snap this platform here just to show you guys. It is, you might have to move a bit backwards and forwards and around, but you can get it to snap. There we go. That was good, but I moved. That should do. I kind of want it really in line. There we go. That's the one. That's what I wanted. So look at all the space that you can build on. Obviously you can use much more of the space. It is a area that is well out of sight. Here are the coordinates on the map location. And as I was saying before, this location is well out of the way. I don't see many people coming up here unless they know you have a base. And you'll see exactly what I mean in a couple of minutes, because I'm going to show you what this looks like from the outside. Alright, with that being said and done and put away, let's find a way to get outside so you can get people coming in those holes down there. But as you can see, a Drake doesn't fit. There are the wider gaps around here, and we are quite literally on the ceiling of the blue zone. Alright, so this should do. There we go. This is the structure. This is what it looks like. Those are basically, or this is basically the continuation of the spine that I showed you, and it is in the blue biome, close to the green biome. So I'll get a bit of a flight to show you guys. There we go. That's what it looks like. So it's basically the same structure that I was building in before. Instead of going vertically this time around, we are going horizontally. And the best thing about it is, this late in the game, I don't think very many people will have thought about building bases in this particular area. Base location number 3. As you can see, there is a similarity between all 3 first base locations. This is a separate area. Now I did place a cliff platform down to show you guys. It can be quite tricky to get your drakes out, as you can see. Sometimes I do like to derp around, but we will find a way out. As you can see, there's a lot of space here to build, and you can build a decent sized base in here as well. Most of it will be protected by the structure itself, as this is indestructible. And we're going to make our way out this way. This particular location is not far from the previous base location, so that's not far from base location number 4. And it is also on the ceiling, as you can see right there. So that one to my left was where we were with the previous base location. There is another one next to it. I will also show you the coordinates later on. It's a bit weird looking upside down, trying to find your point of reference. There we go. Down there we've got that radiation zone, so you can just hop straight down into the radiation zone. You can build a waterless base if you want. You could probably even build around this area. It is right smack on the ceiling of the blue zone. So I'm going to try and put a cliff platform somewhere around here to show you that you can actually build here as well. It is a bit weird trying to place these things down. So if I reverse my drake, will you want to place? There we go, that's it. It's kind of have to place it off your drake facing downwards, with your head facing downwards, so you can build on the outside if you want. Or if you want to be concealed, you can also place it inside. Obviously, it'll be a lot better defended if you do build on the inside. And here are the map location and coordinates for this particular base location. And after this, we will be getting into the more juicy locations. And as you can see, down there is the pink biome with the radiation. I'm just going to pick up this particular platform because I will reuse it. And I'll see you guys in the next location. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to make my way back inside to show you guys from this point where I placed the platform the amount of space that you have to work with, just as a general idea. And there we go. This is how much space you actually have to work with. It is a lot, and if you've watched Nooblet's waterless base, you can build a waterless base here. So you can have all the creature comfort of a normal base, and you will be well out of sight. There is the other location that I showed you. And with that being said, now we can get on to the next base location. Base location number 2. And you're probably thinking by now, what, am I going to show only these sorts of base locations? Well, hold on a bit. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in a little bit. Now, I did place some platforms here so you guys can see that you can build a bridge-like structure to the base location, which I'm going to show you in a bit. And no, it's not inside of one of those ceiling things anymore. It is, however, snapped to the ceiling, and it is well out of render distance, seeing as most people won't be coming up this way. However, there is a bit more to defend. However, on the flip side, there is a lot of space to build. So as you can see, you can place structures down. You can build a decent flat base. I'm going to show you what it looks from up here. And boy, is this tall. As you can see, well out of render distance. Your base will not render unless people are actually on the ceiling, but you can defend it. And this is not all. Where my rock drake is located is not the only place that you can build. So I'm going to fly my way slightly higher. As you can see over there, there are some more cliff platforms. You can use these structures to add cliff platforms to those and maybe build some tower-like structures. This is more of a large tribe base location. Who knows, I think I might even build one on my own server here. Now you can go with these platforms and cover this entire area that I'm going to show you now. I've only placed down a handful of platforms. Down there is the Giga Skeleton next to the Rock Drake nest location. I only placed down 3 platforms just to illustrate what you can achieve. there is a giant area where you can build. As you can see, you can go around all the way. You can also place a platform right in front of me, so I'd probably do that if I was on a PvP server, with the intention of either placing down turrets or maybe placing down turrets and different spawn locations, so that makes getting to the beds that much more difficult for the enemy. So what I'm trying to say by that is I would probably spread out multiple spawn points around this area where I could or would be able to spawn at, so that my enemies would not be able to single out a single spawn location. You do have that option with this particular location, and as I said before, this is more your large tribe based location, so I could probably see an alpha tribe wanting to build here. Alright, so I am going to be showing you the location via the coordinates and the map. Okay, and after this I will be going on to base location number 1, and I will also be adding a bonus base location just because I have discovered it whilst discovering base location number 1. And here we are with base location number 1. So as you can see, it looks a bit weird and dodgy, and that is because we are outside, or actually on top of the aberration map. This isn't a glitch, or I don't think it's a glitch. I think this is something the devs forgot to cover. However, you can get up here quite easily, particularly with a rock drake part way, and then come with climbing picks, so you can get a human in this particular location. This is what it looks like. Now, I've spent some time out here and I haven't seen any of the environmental hazards that you see on the ground when you go out on the aberration map into the open world. What I mean by this is actually I'm referring to the locations that have fires and have a ton of Reaper Kings. To be fairly honest, nothing actually spawns here, because I don't think the devs actually intended for this hole in the map to be here. However, I did discover it whilst looking for base locations, and as you've noticed, base locations that I have been looking for were all on the ceiling. Okay, and so I'm just going to do a slight fly to show you how many areas there are that you can build. There's a lot of flat ground that you can build on. It is stupidly easy to defend. Bear in mind though that this might get fixed at some point, as I don't think this was intended, and you can only get humans in here. Well, you can get drakes, and I'll show you that in the bonus area of this video, but as you can see, there is a lot of space to build. Well, we've got pretty much the entirety of the aberration map to build on top of, so I guess you can use your imagination in terms of what you could achieve. You could probably get all sorts of creatures here if you do have access to the tech transmitters and everything. You could build a makeshift base on the ground, get your Carcanosses and Ravagers and everything else, and transport them all the way up here. I'd probably transport my metal in that manner. This is the entrance, and this is what it looks like. And the reason I noticed it, I noticed a little weird thing going on in the ceiling, which made me want to have a closer look, which is what brought me to this location. You can also place platforms here, although I don't see why you'd want to do that, because as you'll see in a bit, it is not as concealed anymore. I have placed it there for orientation purposes, and this is what brought me up here. It was this hole in the ceiling followed by that light, and I thought, well, can I get through that? Is that actually a thing? And well, it turns out that it is. So this is what it looks like below me. As you can see, we are well up. You got a nice little area with metal, so you could probably build a metal farm there. Have a little ankylosaurus there. I wouldn't put the platform up there because as you've seen, it is very visible. But there is a decent amount of metal not far by. You could build out of metal. You could put a couple of turrets at the entrance to defend it, and only humans can get through. I have not been able to get through with rock drakes. I haven't tried it with a Ravager, so that might be a possibility. The question is, how will you get the Ravager up there though? Here are the map and GPS coordinates, so you guys can find this particular entrance to the top of the Aberration map. And as you've seen, you can build quite a decent base up there. However though, I wouldn't put all my eggs in that same basket, out of the possibility that it might get patched at some point. Obviously, that would happen once the devs get wind of this, as I don't think this was intended to be a thing. It was just something that they overlooked, and it does allow us to get to the top or on top of the Aberration map and build there. So I would probably build a decent sized base, but I wouldn't really put everything into this base. I would probably have another base down somewhere on the bottom, and that could be like a base to distract other tribes from ever finding this particular location. And because of the small entrance, it is super duper easy to defend. Bonus base location. Now as you can see, I am on a flying drake, and I did not ghost my way through. I did actually find another entrance on top, or that takes you on top of the Aberration map. I'm going to show you that location in a bit. So does this tie into location number 1? If you do want to bring large creatures such as rock drakes, there is that possibility, and you can defend it quite easily. So I'm going to try and remember where I came in. This again came from me looking for areas to build on the ceiling of Aberration. Probably going to want to gamma up a bit because it's quite dark. There we go, that makes things a lot better. As you can see, it is still daytime. There's no hazard whatsoever. Nothing, absolutely nothing spawns here. So you don't have to worry about creatures spawning in. You don't have to worry about Reaper spawning in. And I haven't seen any sort of daytime hazards that you see in the other surface locations on Aberration. Now, I'm trying to find where that entrance is that I came through, because this is just something. Oh, there we go. There it is. The gap isn't that big. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And I only discovered it quite by accident whilst looking for spots on the ceiling to build. That's what the gap looks like. And you can get a rock drake to come out. You can actually, I think, place turrets around the top there to shoot any nosy players, keep them away. Because when you go up, a part of the map becomes invisible from the top. So I'm assuming that bullets can go through that portion of the map, and you can pretty much defend this quite well and keep people away from this area and being nosy. So if you place a couple of turrets on the edge here to shoot anything down there, and I do think bullets will actually go through that invisible part of the ceiling, you'll be able to keep any nosy players out of here. And as there is only a small gap that they can come through, by the time they get to the gap, they will have probably been killed. I would probably set the turrets to kill tames and players. So I'd probably do a combination. Now I did have to actually make my drake let go of the surface to actually get down. It can be a bit dodgy to get back out. It's a lot easier to get in once you see the opening. There we go, we can see the opening. So because from down here this is a solid surface and players can't go through, and from the top I suspect that bullet will be able to go through the surface. If anybody gets nosy and starts looking around here, they will be shot and they won't know what hit them. So definitely a nice location because you can get your larger creatures that you've probably bred outside, and by that I mean rock drakes particularly, as anything else would struggle to get up here, but you can get rock drakes in. That is it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more similar content from myself, and why not check out some of my other videos if you're new. Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, if you did enjoy this video and want me to look for more similar locations, big and small, on the Aberration map, let me know down in the comments section of the video, and if enough people ask for it, I am more than happy to search for some more locations. Also, if you want, feel free to share this video with your friends and tribe mates and enjoy building in the locations that I've shown you. Until next time, stay safe, folks.